Come on out here and hit a home run for us, Chucky. This old boy, I've been knowing him since Buck was a calf. And I'll tell you what, he is, I first met him somewhere down in South Florida. He was sitting around on somebody's deep freeze ice box. Had a guitar there and was fumbling around with it. I asked him something about it. I said, you ever written any songs? No. I said, well, you don't think about it. Everybody's got a song in them. He mumbled something. Went off and, oh my God, I opened up a can of worms. Because he has kicked them out since then. You all set together?
I ain't got no idea. I'm trying to get a guitar signal.
Well, you ain't plugged in?
Yeah, I'm plugged in.
Oh, where is the sound man?
Maybe I ought to plug into that one.
Yeah.
You reckon?
Yeah, try that. I heard something right there. You sure you got a battery in that guitar? I'd say you got something going on there. I don't know why you're so all fired up about that. You can't play it anyway.
I know I can.
Mr. Chuck Hardwicke, y'all may keep it good and well.
Frank, you're too kind. You're too kind. No, he's right about that. And then I lived about 30 years down in 35 years down in southeast Florida. Then I moved up to North Florida, God's country. Are we going to talk or do you want to play music?
Well, I don't know. We just do some of both.
We can do both of that. Well, I went to school over in Lakeland. I wasn't raised there. I was born in Oregon.
You didn't learn a whole lot.
And came to Florida in 1957 and went to school in Lakeland. Then I got off on a naval tangent and went in the Navy for a while. I'm gonna play music. Yes, Frank, I'll do that. When I see a morning mist drift along the river, hear the whistle of a southbound train. When I taste the juice from a tree ripe and gold, smell the fresh summer rain. Why, these are the grains of Florida sand that are stuck to the bottom of my shoes. I'm going back to stay, why it's the only way I'll cure those St. Johns River blues. When I see a dance of fireflies long after sunset, hear an owl hoot across the slough. When the fox begin to bloom early in the spring, I catch those St. Johns River blues. Why, these are the grains of Florida sand that stuck to the bottom of my shoe. I'm going back to stay, why it's the only way I'll cure those St. Johns River blues. When I see a cane pole fisherman on the bank of the river, hear the honey in a southern drawl. When I'm served up grits with my plate of catfish, or hear an Osceola turkey call. Why, these are the grains of Florida sand that stuck to the bottom of my shoes. I'm going back to stay, why it's the only way I'll cure the St. Johns River blues. When I see a boat stacked high with its crab traps, her fiddle play an old time tune. When the nights begin to cool and there's a snap in the air, I'll catch those St. John's River blues. Why, these are the grains of Florida sand that stuck to the bottom of my shoe. I'm going back to stay, why, it's the only way I'll cure those St. John's River blues. Yeah, going back to stay, why, it's the only way I'll cure those St. John's River blues. All right. Yeah, Frank, I'll do your Hungry Land Slough song. When I lived down southeast Florida, I lived in West Palm area. And I used to hunt in a place called the Corbett area, in an area called the Hungry Land Slough. Now, I wrote this tune about this thing. Frank said, looked at me, he says, how can you write a song about some place called the Hungry Land Slough? But actually it got its name in the second, I think it was the Second Seminole War. But for Frank, we'll do this. I was in the Army in 1820. Well, I worked a little bit in the engineering department and with the parks department and different places. You know what this reminds me of?
I'm interviewing you.
We had Frank come up and play one year up at Palack out there where I live. This was about 4 or 5 years ago. And he called me at the last moment. He says, you think people would mind if I brought Patrick Smith up on stage with me? And I said, no, it's your show. You can do anything you want. Well, let me tell you, we should have had a movie camera. That was the biggest mistake we ever made. I never heard such a great fireside chat. But let me get through this song and then we'll chat. A sandhill crane spreads his wings, disturbed by my presence there. His cry breaks the chilly silence as he takes to the cold morning air. And it's a cold December sunrise over the Hungry Land Slough, reminding me of a land time forgot, one of South Florida's untouched views. In the soft gray light of early dawn, when the ground fog is like a cloud, scrub cypress appear like ghostly figures surrounded by a shroud. All that peaceful mist plays low on that swamp like a patchwork quilt covering a bed. A quiet broken by the great horn valve, signaling a new day ahead. And it's a cold December sunrise over the Hungry Land Slough, reminding me of the land time forgot, one of South Florida's untouched views. When the sun climbs above those pine island tops that border each sand-bottom pond, sparkles the surface, those watery flats, long after the fog is gone. And it's a cold December sunrise over the hungry land sleep, reminding me of a land time forgot, one of South Florida's untouched views. Reminding me of a land time forgot, one of South Florida's last untouched views. All right, Frank. Now, is there anything else you want to talk about?
Well, we could.
Frank, let me tell you a story about Frank. Remember when we had all them terrible, terrible dry spells up in Northeast Florida, when we boogabooed the Florida Folk Festival back then, and we had all those wildfires going on up there? Frank come up there and picked me up one day, and he says, I want you to ride with me up to the old homestead. I said, oh, yeah, okay. Well, he ain't got no air conditioning in that car. It's about 98 degrees outside. And he's riding down the highway throwing cigarettes out the window, and I'm getting all over him about that. But anyway, we got up to his old home place and walked around where he was raised up there, which was kind of interesting. And then on the way back to my place, he said, well, I've got some folks over in Barden over there. He said, I'm going to ride by and say hello. I said, okay, that's a good idea. So we pull in his yard in Barden. Now, I don't know if y'all know what Barden is, but Barden is nothing. It's a nothing place. I mean, nothing extra. So Frank gets out of the car and he walks up to this trailer and bangs on the door, and somebody comes to the door. Now I'm sitting out in the car, I can't see, but she opens the door this wide, just about 2.5 inches. And I'm looking, and they talked and they talked and they talked for 45 minutes, him standing out there in the 98-degree sun, and that door only opened 2 inches. He come back to the car and he goes, you know something, I got some strange relatives. Oh, yeah. Well, like I say, I live there just south of Palaca in a little town called Satsuma. Huh?
I was telling my niece over there.
Oh. One of the interesting things that I learned about there is the story of Colonel Hubbard Hart. Colonel Hubbard Hart owned and operated a steamship company that ran passengers and freight up the St. Johns River and Ocklawaha River to Silver Springs in the late 1800s. It was a great way to see the interior of Florida in those days. So let's cast off for Willaca, Davenport, Reedy Bluff, and Silver Springs. Welcome aboard the Hiawatha Passage with the Hart Line Band, steaming up the St. Johns River back and forth to Silver Springs. Now we're leaving daily from Palaca up the St. Johns and back again on a steamboat excursion for you and your friends. Yes, $12 a first-class ticket to where Miss Mayo sleeps in the crack of the bridal chamber way down in the deep. So welcome aboard the Hiawatha Passage with the Hart Line Band, steaming up the St. Johns River back and forth to Silver Springs. Now occasional stops along the river allow you to see the local sights, mysteries of the Ocklawaha that twist to the left, turns to the right. Yes, the Astutula, William Howard, steamers of another design, for your comfort and your pleasure when you ship with the Hart Line. So welcome aboard the Hiawatha Passage with the Hart Line Band, steaming up the St. Johns River back and forth to Silver Springs. Yes, welcome aboard the Hiawatha Passage with the Hart Line Band, steaming up the St. Johns River back and forth to Silver Springs. Well, let's pull her in the dock, Captain. Oh, yeah. Well. Let's see. What do you want? I know one that I ought to do for Lisa. What? That's exactly what I was thinking. She called it the Blue Smurf song. I wrote a song years ago called If You're Dumb, You Gotta Be Tough. I do a lot of reenactment with folks of the 1820 to 1840 era, and I've written a song about some of the incidences that these people have, stupid things that they pulled off. A good friend of mine also wrote a song called Swampy the Dog, which I'll do after that. And I wanted to do Swampy the Dog, and he said, nope, you can't do it. So he called me about 3 years after that, and he said, I want to do If You're Dumb, You Gotta Be Tough. I said, it's going to cost you. I get to do Swampy the Dog. So let's do Swampy the Dog first, and then we'll do that. All right. Yeah, this was written by an old friend of mine by the name of Dick Flood, a.k.a. Okie Finokie Joe. Swampy the dog, Skeeter the cat, and me. Living in the swamp, loving every minute, just being free. Okie Finokie, Georgia, population 3. Swampy the dog, Skeeter the cat, and me. Well, that's the way it was in that broken down shack I called home. Living off the land, but not exactly living alone. My playful companions were always there to help me along. With a whole lot of caring, a whole lot of sharing, life was like a beautiful song. And I'd sing Swampy the dog, Skeeter the cat, and me. Living in the swamp, loving every minute, just being free. Okie Finokie, Georgia, population 3. Swampy the dog, Skeeter the cat, and me. But you know that swamp has a way of changing things. That bull gator meant me no harm, but when he dragged Swampy under, it was like he took my right arm. Now life in the Okie Finokie's beautiful. There's bound to be a few bad times. I'm just glad that I'm still around, and Swampy, wherever you are tonight, you're on my mind. Be a long time forgetting the love in those faithful brown eyes. Swampy was my friend, and oh, how I cried when he died. But me and little Skeeter were both a little older and wise. No need explaining, no times are changing. We'll keep the old memories alive, and we'll sing Swampy the dog, Skeeter the cat, and me. Living in the swamp, loving every minute, just being free. Okie Finokie, Georgia, population 3. Swampy the dog, Skeeter the cat, and me. Okie Finokie, Georgia, population 3. Swampy the dog, Skeeter the cat, and me. All right, before I do this last song, this should be the last one, right? I don't know, everybody's going, I don't know. But anyway, you must understand that in the 1824 reenactment people that we do, these portable outhouses that you see around here, we call them hooters. So when I refer to a hooter, now you know what I'm talking about, okay? This is called If You're Dumb, You Gotta Be Tough. Some folks I know like to overindulge and they'll do it all night long, while they'll wake up in a couple of days just wondering what went on. Yeah, they cook their meals over an open fire using old iron pots, then reach right down and grab a hold and scream, damn, that's hot. So when these things happen to you and your friends give you a little guff, just remember these 7 little words. If you're dumb, you gotta be tough. Instead of scissors, they'll use a knife to trim a sleeve or cut a thread. And when it slips and hits the bone, they're wondering about that red. Yes, splitting firewood on a tree stump, why, as easy as can be, unless you're showing off for your girlfriend and hit yourself in the knee. So when these things happen to you and your friends give you a little guff, just remember these 7 little words. If you're dumb, you gotta be tough. Okay. Fun part about this song is you can't remember the verses. Now I heard tell of some mountain men that decided it was smoke is what was needed to drive their quarry from this hollow oak. Yes, these 4 cunning mountain men did set about to conspire the demise of a fierce and mighty squirrel by setting that tree on fire. So when these things happen to you and your friends give you a little guff, just remember these 7 little words. If you're dumb, you gotta be tough. Instead of scissors, oh, we did that one, didn't we? Well, one I know dropped his false teeth in the bottom of a sandy pot. Then he had to get down in that mess just to fish him out. Another loaded his shotgun with triple the powder and lead. When he shot birds all afternoon, his shoulders were purple and red. So when these things happen to you and your friends give you a little guff, just remember these 7 little words. If you're dumb, you gotta be tough. Well, there's an outhouse tale from Alify you'll find not too dull, about those new fiberglass hooters full of that blue chemical. Yes, a site decision had to be made on how to drain that tank. Well, this buckskinner with a pistol stepped forward. We all thought it was a prank. With a look of confidence in his eyes and a face that was stern and bold, he reached right over and he opened that door and he aimed right down that hole. Yeah, that pistol, it did buck and roar, and a blue mist filled the air, and a big blue Smurf with a smoking gun was left standing there. So when these things happen to you and your friends give you a little guff, yes, just remember these 7 little words. If you're dumb, you gotta be tough. Now, if I haven't sung about you, it's 'cause you've done nothing wrong. But just go ahead and do something dumb. I'll add another verse to this song. How we doing on time, Mr. MC?
You got time for one more. What to do? And don't tell me you don't have them.
No, I got them, but I'm having I know what I want to do. I don't know if I can do it or not, but I want to do it. Right after I moved to North Florida, I wrote a little thing. Well, my 3rd CD was called Gone North. I suddenly realized I didn't have a song called Gone North. So I thought I better write something like that. Let me hear the music in those Florida pines. Let me see the wonders of nature's own signs. Let me learn the stories about those cracker days, ere they're lost or forgotten and soon fade away. Oh, I've gone north, left South Florida behind. 30 years of living, good friends of mine settled near Palatka on the banks of the St. Johns, where the old South still lingers on. So let me hear the music in those Florida pines. Let me see the wonders of nature's own signs. Let me learn the stories about those cracker days. Here they're lost or forgotten and soon fade away. Well, it's where I'll stay. It's where I belong. New roots that I plant can grow deep and strong. No sorrow will I have when the good Lord calls me, for I will have heard the music in those trees. Let me hear the music in those Florida pines. Let me see the wonders of nature's own signs. Let me learn the stories about those cracker days. Here they're lost or forgotten and soon fade away. Here they're lost or forgotten and soon fade away. Thank you.